And and last but not least, we lost Malcolm-Jamal Warner this week. And for the first time, I think, ever, we've never featured two obits, like two people who wrote, appreciations. I wrote one first. Charles called me when we first got the news, and I wrote, "We remember Malcolm-Jamal Warner, 1970 to 2025. Charles wrote, "Eulogy for a Brother." So, Charles, I'll let you go first, man. Talk about, what the memories you shared or your feelings around the passing, the tragic passing, I would ask, of Malcolm-Jamal Warner.
It's kind of ironic because as you were talking about the clips coming in, I was never that hip hop kid like that growing up. I can listen to a lot of things. Matter of fact, I didn't see Prince in concert, but I did see Ozzy with Metallica. And before Metallica was big, they opened up for Ozzy, and so. But Malcolm-Jamal Warner.
Hold on a second. Yeah, he's right here. Get his black card and cut it before we leave.
So right, Malcolm-Jamal Warner, when he came on the Cosby Show, this was a role that spoke to me because I lived that middle class life. I wasn't in the hip hop world, and but I was in the middle, and so a lot of the things that Theo Huxtable went through were the things I experienced. I grew up in a house full of women, and he had in a house full of women, so I drew a kinship to Theo Huxtable and thereby Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Malcolm-Jamal Warner named after Malcolm X and Ahmad Jamal. Mm-hmm. So I've listened to his spoken word. I've just followed him all my life, and so and he's like 2 years younger than me. But to me, he was the brother I never had because I don't have any brothers, and that was a guy that I was like, I just rock with him. And so to hear him pass, it really hit me hard. It really was a devastating blow because I'm like, that is me. He was me, and so a piece of me passed along with him as he, Even the whole story about the rip current and how he got caught in it and out there, I've experienced that. I was younger and fortunate, but I came out the other side because I didn't have the strength to try to fight the rip current, and I just got drugged out to the sandbar. Mm. But it's a terrible loss for me. I don't know about the rest of the world, but as we do our top 100 list, I'm expecting the Cosby Show to be high up now, maybe even higher because of this relevant topic here.
For the record, sir, the top 100 list, at least the first 70 was completed before.
I know that. I know that. But just like we were working the 71 through 100.
We are not working. We are not reworking 1 through 70. 1 through 70 is set.
Yeah.
So I will just say. So don't be thinking once we like, oh man, it had nothing to do with Malcolm-Jamal Warner. But go ahead.
I can say that, but I already know what the top 1 through 70 are.
Right,
so
right.
I'm not.
Right. I got you.
But tell me what you were feeling when you heard about this news.
I'm just going to go through a couple of notes that I wrote that were in the piece. I called him America's son because my memory was that, for as much, what's the word to use? As much flack,
criticism,
criticism, and rightfully so, that Dr. Cosby has generated over the last 10, 15 years. People forget. And again, I was making a joke earlier about certainties, album of the year, movie of the year. There are a couple of certainties I can make about the 1980s because I lived in the 1980s.
Okay.
There's no album that I've seen before or since that'll ever top Thriller. None.
Okay.
And there's no television show that I've ever seen before or since that will top the popularity of the Cosby Show in the mid '80s. It literally was not just the number one black show on television. It was the number one show on television for like 5 years.
It made NBC credible as a network.
Oh yeah. They created an entire block of programming,
around
Shane, that noticed, around the Cosby Show, and they called it Must-See Thursdays.
Yep.
So all that started with the Cosby Show, and Theo Huxtable was a huge part of the Cosby Show, right? And you go, but he was the son. Yeah, to Charles's point, he was the only boy in a family full of women, and he was modeled after Bill Cosby's late son, Ennis. So a lot of the storylines about fatherhood and a lot of the things that he showed, like the way they showed black fatherhood on television through the relationship of Dr. Cosby and Malcolm-Jamal Warner, I thought was brilliant.
Oh, absolutely,
it's brilliant.
Absolutely.
Like it's funny. I have in my thing. There's like 3 or 4 clips, right, of like famous episodes, and like I think it might have been the pilot when he told his father, he was like, hey man, you guys are being hard on me, because he was getting bad report cards.
Right. I just want to be a regular
I just want to be a regular kid, man. How come I can't be a regular? And everybody claps in the studio audience, yay! And Bill Cosby came back and went, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. No wonder you're getting C's and D's in school. So you had that moment. What was the name of the famous
Gordon Gartrell?
Oh my God, the Gordon Gartrell shirt. When he goes to his father and says, the shirt is $95. He said the only kid that should be wearing a shirt that's $95 is he's on stage singing with the
His
four brothers. There are all these classic moments. And then the other one I'll end with, well, actually it's 2. Remember when he had, I forget his teacher, played by Sonia Braga, who came to the house, and she had something to give him. And they're having this pleasant evening. She's looking all normal, and she invites Theo out to the living room. And as they're sitting there talking, she pulls her glasses out and she's putting her hair back up. So there are and trust me, if you're sitting at home and you're like, man, I can't believe Tim and Charles and Shane is letting them talk about the Cosby Show. Cosby Show was great. I'm sorry.
Fantastic.
I mean, watch this. I'm sorry. The Cosby
Fantastic.
Show is a fantastic show. You might not like the man whose name is on the show, but you cannot discount like the importance of that show.
Right.
What that show actually did for not just black culture, but for the culture. For the culture.
Yeah.
So I say that Malcolm-Jamal Warner represented America's son. I was on a show in Philadelphia, and they brought me on to talk about this, and I was like, I never had an opportunity to meet him, never had a chance to interview him. I learned so much about him just this week with all the clips that I've saw on YouTube. And I want to finish with a poem that I saw that Tyrese wrote. Did you read about this? Did you read this?
No.
Shane, did you read about this? The poem is called, and I'm going to read this, called The Gentle Giant, right? A poem in tribute to our beloved brother Malcolm-Jamal Warner. And this is from a couple of days ago. He said, today we lost a gentle giant, a man who won our hearts not by force but by quiet grace. From the very beginning, Malcolm-Jamal Warner reminded us that being calm, classy, sophisticated, and soulful could carry you far in life. He was the soft-spoken strength behind a generation's most beloved show. We watched The Cosby Show and saw for the first time a world many of us had never known. A black family made up of doctors, lawyers, artists, and thinkers.
Wow.
A household rooted in love and education, laughter and dignity. Let me see if I'm reading this in right. I must have skipped a part. So it says, today we mourn what feels unimaginable. A loss that cuts through nostalgia, through childhood, through what we thought would always be. My sincere prayers go out to his wife, to his children, to his family, to everyone who loved him, worked beside him, and walked life with him. This tragedy hits us hard, not just because of who he was on screen, but because of who he remained when the cameras turned off. We lost more than an actor. We lost a presence, a gentle, regal, beautiful soul who walked with dignity and reminded us, especially as black boys and men, that you could be powerful without being loud. important without being arrogant, respected without ever demanding it. Today, as we sit in that grief and we say goodbye to a man who gave us more than entertainment, he gave us hope. He gave us another way to exist. Rest well, Malcolm. You were everything we needed.
Wow.
That was from Tyrese Gibson wrote that. Dedication to Malcolm-Jamal Warner, man. So, this one hurts. And not to diminish the families and friends of Chuck Mangione, Hulk Hogan, and Ozzy Osbourne, but Malcolm-Jamal Warner was our community.
That's why it was last.
It's our community, bro. So rest in peace. I literally hate that we have to keep doing these. And one day, somebody, it's so funny. I was talking to Charles earlier today. I've been listening to Hamilton a lot, in the back of my mind, I keep thinking about the closing song, who lives, who dies, who tells his story. Somebody has got to tell the story. There are plenty of people who want to tell the story of Malcolm-Jamal Warner and all of the folks that we lost. But I think about it inwardly, like, we live our lives, and at some point, who's gonna tell our story, man? Who's gonna tell the story of Charles Kirkland Jr.? Who's gonna tell the story of Shane Lewis? Who tells the Tim Gordon story? So we have to continue to keep on pressing and hope that we leave enough work behind that somebody can continue to tell our story, man.
Right.